Hi, brothers and sisters. There is a story, one you may have heard before, of a tunnel carved deep into the mountains. A tunnel so long, so dark, and so merciless that no one who entered ever returned. For generations, it became a warning, a myth, a whisper to keep dreamers in their place. Don't go in, don't try. No one ever makes it out alive. But then one did. In the heart of these mountains, there was a small village untouched by time. Their lives revolved around the mountain. Their worries were carried by the wind. So when disaster struck, it was as if the mountain itself had turned against them. Crops failed, livestock perished, and despair settled in. But then came a glimmer of hope. Legend spoke of a secret tunnel leading to fertile lands beyond the mountain. It was said that whoever controlled this tunnel would control prosperity. The elders warned of a terrible price, but the desperate villagers saw no alternative. One by one, they sent their strongest to find the entrance. At first, they came back shaken, speaking of an unnatural darkness. Some claimed to hear voices whispering their deepest fears. Soon, all of them refused to speak of the tunnel, each returning with a deeper level of dread. Finally, a young man named Torin stepped forward. Torin was not the strongest or the most skilled, but he was fearless. Ignoring the pleas of his family, he set off to find the tunnel. As he ventured deeper into the mountain, the air grew heavy. The only sounds were the drip of water and his own heartbeat. Torin found the entrance hidden behind a waterfall. With a mix of excitement and terror, he pushed through and disappeared into the mist. Now, as we continue this story, let me ask you something. When faced with disaster, how far would you go? How much risk would you take? Would you dare enter a dark, unknown tunnel spoken of only in legends? Most would hesitate. Most would choose to stay put. The fear of the unknown is a powerful force. Sometimes it keeps us safe, but sometimes it prevents us from even trying. And this is the story of when the fear was more a myth than reality. For Torin, the tunnel entrance was a test of courage, but it was merely the start of his journey. Soon, he found himself surrounded by complete darkness, so thick it felt like a physical presence. Torin could feel the darkness pressing in, trying to extinguish the light within him. He fumbled for his lantern, its flame flickering wildly. Each flicker was a battle against the darkness, each flicker a choice to move forward. It was at this moment Torin realized the true nature of the tunnel. It was not just a passage, it was a challenge to his bravery, his determination, and most importantly, his belief in himself. As he continued, the tunnel seemed to twist and turn on purpose, testing his resolve. There were moments when Torin questioned his mission. In the suffocating darkness, doubt grew like a weed. Failure seemed imminent. Voices echoed in the vast emptiness, mocking his efforts, whispering tales of those who had tried and failed. These whispers were the worst trial of all. They preyed on Torin's fears, attempting to convince him to turn back. But Torin refused to surrender. He kept moving forward. There is a strange paradox in life. While most fear darkness, it is often in the darkest moments that we discover our inner strength. While most seek comfort in familiarity, it is often in the unknown that we find our true potential. The real challenges in life are rarely visible. They hide beneath the surface, disguised as problems we think we can handle. But once we dive in, we realize we are in way over our heads. Torin found himself in such a situation. He had entered the tunnel with courage, but now his true test had begun. At times, the tunnel opened up into vast chambers, forcing Torin to confront his fear of space and emptiness. Other times it narrowed, forcing him to squeeze through, testing his patience and tolerance. Once he stumbled upon a pool of water, its surface as still and dark as the tunnel itself. Torin, parched from his journey, hesitated. Was this water safe to drink? His thirst warred with his caution. He decided to trust his instincts and drank deeply from the pool. Afterward, he felt revitalized, both body and spirit. In the stillness of the tunnel, Torin began to hear sounds he had never noticed before. The drip of water became a rhythm. The echo of his footsteps became a song. The darkness was no longer empty. It was alive with subtle sounds that told a story. He understood then that the tunnel had a language of its own, and he was learning it. We often think of fear as a singular emotion, but fear is a collection of emotions, a whole orchestra of dread. It can manifest in many ways, from the crippling fear of failure to the paralyzing anxiety of the unknown. The tunnel did not just test Torin's courage, it tested every aspect of his being. Yet through it all, Torin refused to break. As days turned into weeks, Torin realized he couldn't just brute force his way through the tunnel. He needed strategy, patience, and above all, adaptability. He began to use every tool at his disposal, climbing, crawling, balancing. He used every instinct, every sense. He learned to read the tunnel, to predict its twists and turns. In the process, he transformed from a fearful adventurer into a skilled explorer. Torin's journey was not just about reaching the end. It was about growth, about understanding that strength comes in many forms, and courage is not the absence of fear, but the will to act despite it. The tunnel had become his teacher, and Torin was a dedicated student. In the end, when Torin finally emerged from the tunnel, he was not the same man who had entered. He had faced his fears and conquered not just the tunnel, but the darkness within him. The world beyond the tunnel was forever changed by Torin's journey. He had found the path, but he had also found himself. Life is full of such tunnels, metaphorical passages of fear and uncertainty that we must all traverse. They can be daunting, confusing, even terrifying. But as Torin's story shows, it's in these moments that we truly discover our strength. The greatest growth often happens when we are forced to confront our limitations and push beyond them. So the next time you find yourself facing a challenge that seems too great to be overcome, remember Torin's story. Remember that courage is not the absence of fear, but the will to act despite it. Let your journey through the darkness be your path to growth, transformation, and self-discovery. And with that, brothers and sisters, this comes to an end for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment below. Thanks for everything. See you next time.